Close your eyes and come with me. I'm taking you 5,000 years ago, straight to the holiest of the lands that has now turned into a battlefield, Kurukshetra. Millions of people thirsty of blood, vengeful with their weapons, horses and elephants on both sides, and far away from that field, on a beautiful palace, a blind king sits on a golden throne. Dhritarashtra, a king who is sinful and his greed is sharper than any of the swords. The king turns to Sanjay, a disciple of a very prominent rishi who can see across hundreds of miles, and asks him, "My sons and the sons of my brother, what are they doing on the field of Kuru, on the field of Dharma itself?" His son, Duryodhana, is on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the king is worried that his son might get defeated. Not because he is not strong enough, but because the war is happening on a very holy land and his son and the army are not virtuous enough. Duryodhana walks between his generals, voice cracking, pretending to be brave. He is shrewd, diplomatic, and very much like a politician. But the fate had him become the son of the king. He looks at his army. He sees Bhishmadeva, Drona, Karna, Ashwatthama, and all the other powerful men. Bhishma was his grandfather, old, yet majestic, and on the other side was Bhima, who was just a lump for Bhishmadeva. But deep inside, Bhishmadeva knew that they were destined to lose, because the Supreme Godhead, Sri Krishna, was on the other side. Yet to comfort his grandson, he blew his conch shell, as mighty as the lion's roar, and trembled the sky, earth, and everything in between. The conch shell was followed by drums, trumpets, and horns by the army. This made Duryodhana happy. He laughed like an evil madman, confident that he will slay the other side. On the other side were the armies of Arjuna. They heard the trembling conch shells from the side of Duryodhana. Sri Krishna takes out his conch shell, Panchajanya, along with Arjuna, Bhim, and the army, and makes a transcendent sound. Every human standing on the battlefield was a partial of the Supreme Lord himself, so they could feel the transcendence in their senses and consciousness. Even the time stops to listen. The silence falls like a sword. Sri Krishna and Arjuna were stationed on a great chariot drawn by the white horses. Arjuna was the commander and Sri Krishna was his charioteer. The chariot was accompanied by the goddess of wealth, because she stays where her husband is, and her husband is the ultimate god himself. The chariot also flexed the flag marked with Hanuman, which symbolically meant that Lord Hanuman was also on their side, because Hanuman follows wherever his Bhagwan goes. The victory was undoubtedly on this side. "Oh, infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here. Let me see who I have to kill to become the king." Arjuna orders the Supreme Godhead, Sri Krishna. Now, Supreme God Sri Krishna is the one who orders everything. But he was so engaged in the service of his friend, he never failed to shower his affections to his devotees and create great pleasure in his pure devotees' orders. So Lord Krishna centered him on the battlefield, and Arjuna could see all his fathers, grandfathers, brothers, gurus, friends, and well-wishers scattered to kill or die on the battlefield. Suddenly, Arjuna's famous bow, Gandiva, the bow that would split mountains, becomes heavier than sin. It falls from his hand. His mouth dries, legs shake, and eyes flood. I am now unable to stand here any longer, O Sri Krishna. My mind is fogging. I see only misfortune. Arjuna thinks of withdrawing from the war. Although he was definitely gaining victory over the war, Arjuna was compassionate and soft-hearted, as he was the devotee of the Supreme Head and had the characteristics of a demigod. He was attached to the fellow warriors in the battlefield, feared sinning, even though the kingdom was his and was taken away from him during his exile. He could not refuse the battle, as he was a Kshatriya, and the Kshatriya's duty is to fight battle. So Arjuna asks that he will go unarmed to his enemies and get slaughtered in between. He does not see how any good can come from killing his own kinsmen in this battle, and wonders how this victory could do any good to him, as his friends, fathers, and gurus would be killed. So when the greatest warrior the world has ever known throws down his weapon, sits on the floor of the chariot with his mind overwhelmed with grief, he is ready, because only when the ego breaks, the Supreme can enter. And right there, between two armies waiting to destroy each other, on the floor of the war chariot, the greatest spiritual teaching ever given begins. Krishna has not spoken yet, not even a single word, but everything he is about to say for the next 17 chapters is already present in Arjuna's tears. I'm only a Shishya. I finished one chapter today, and I sat in silence for hours, because I realized every one of us will stand in the chariot one day and watch our Gandiva fall. We will say, I cannot go on. And if we are lucky, like really lucky, someone like Sri Krishna will be holding our reins. If this story shook even one corner of your heart, walk with me. 17 chapters left, 700 answers waiting. The war inside you has already begun. The surrender is the first victory. This is real Vaikuntha. Let's cross the battlefield together.